What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, back again with another one of the videos. And today I want to show you guys this awesome epic Zoodiac deck that appears to actually. Post-ban list, Barrage, Trident, Tanky, everything's banned, but this deck is still the best because Zeus is awesome. So that right in the deck, you know, it can never die. 3 Thoroughblade, 3 Ram, and then Bunny Blast, Rapier, and Whiptail. I just cut down a bunch on the Zoo deck, the Zoo cards, because I realized like how you lose is just drawing multiples of these, and it's just better to, even if you don't see one, as long as you set down traps and you have hand traps, you can live to draw one. And a lot of times on turn 1, you don't even normal summon this if you only have one in hand, because you don't want to lose your Vespinato. It's better just have this as normal summon as a follow-up, so you can make Zeus. Oh yeah, don't play the other guy that negates monster effects. He can negate Veiler though, which is kind of useful, so it does come in handy. But I think Bunny Blast is better because you can crash it if they have a bigger monster and then just add a Zoo back to your hand every turn, so it's kind of like Broadbow if you revive it off Chakanine. So might play more of that Bunny Blast. And then 3 Doom Caliber Knight, because this card is troll as fuck. Honestly, the Inspector Border might be better, but you know what? You gotta play this card. Its effect is, for those of you guys that don't know, this card is so old. It used to be a Shonen Jump prize card, by the way. It was super elusive back in the day. 1900 stats is insane. And the effect is cannot be special summoned. When this card is face up on the field and a monster effect is activated, you must tribute this card to negate the activation of that monster effect and destroy the card. So yeah, it's a mandatory effect, but it negates effects, which is pretty clutch against, you know, cards, decks like Tri-Brigade. I literally just threw it in there because I was going through my book and I was like, this is kind of sweet, and you need something in this deck to do turn 1. Like the Vespinato play, it doesn't really amount to anything, unfortunately. Against decks like Drytron and stuff, it doesn't really do anything. This thing that sucks about this card is when they have Veiler, they can just drop the Veiler, and it forces to tribute, so it's like 1-for-1, but, you know, still kind of cool. And it's Doom Caliber Knight, so I was like, why not? It's been like 10 years since the card's seen play, so you gotta throw that into a deck. Hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 2 Bell, just like before, and then also play 2 Nibiru just to cover everything. I don't think Droll and Lockbird and the other cards are good just because it passes a turn. I'd rather in this deck just have cards that actually simplify the game state, and Droll and Lockbird's like a neg 1 for you. And since this deck can't really kill in 1 turn, it's better to just trade off until the resources are low and then just stack Zeus, because that's when Zeus really matters. What else here? And then spell cards. 4 pots, 3 desires, you have to play it, and then 1 duality, because I was thinking, you know what, in turn 1, you don't really summon it, special summon. You could just play pot of duality and try and dig for your traps and stuff, which is always good. And then 3 chalice, because it's amazing. This card is actually insane. Post Bode, it's nuts. There's so many cards that have monster effects and negates, so just chanting this is super awesome. You can use it in damage step. It's good against Shirag and a lot of other cards. Good in going first and second. I would argue it might even be better than Imperm. Like if Imperm, yeah, obviously you can use it on turn 0 on their turn, but like this card, like you can draw into a Thoroughblade or whatever. It doesn't require you to have no cards. You can use it as the latest point possible going second. So definitely want to play that card. It's also better than Drawflick because you don't have to send or discard, which is really hard in this deck. And then yeah, instead of 3 Tanky and Barrage, we're just playing 1 Tanky and 1 Reborn because that's all you can play, sadly. But hey, you know what? It's going to be a lot different when Bode comes out, because they're going to play King of the Sky Prison for sure, and he allows you to search for Tenki and maybe other pot cards like Potter Aberrus. So definitely going to do that. Traps, generic, still 3 Imperm, because, you know, you got to negate monster effects. Imperm, Veiler, Ash is like the 3 that you want to play this format for hand traps, 9. And then also played this card, which I think is insane. 3 Mistake. It's literally like a terrorist floodgate. You just like activate it and your opponent can't do anything. There's so many cards, especially against Drytron, they can't search, so super awesome. Fun fact, actually, against decks like Dino and like maybe whatever deck plays Diagram, if you chain this to the Diagram or the effect that pops, they still have to, they can't search, but they have to resolve the effect as much as possible, so they still have to pop a card. So you want to use that to your advantage, or like by either chaining it or by using it beforehand if you don't want them to special summon something like a Pankratops by popping the baby. So just so you know. And then the Solemns, actually played 7 Solemns because it's troll. The Solemn Warning I just found randomly in my binder. I was like, yeah, I want to play it. It's actually really good. This card is just like almost as good as Strike, if not like better, especially next set when those Flunder cards come out. This card, they can chain block strike, so you can't strike, but with this card, you can straight up just Solemn this normal summon, and then that can like end their turn. So definitely might just play more Solemn Mornings if I can find more ultis, because you gotta play it in an ulti. Paid 2,000 by the way, which is sick, and then obviously the last 2 Floodgates, which are super broken, Imperial Order and Macrocosmos, which you just gotta play right going first. That's it for the main deck, 46 cards, kind of bulky, but you know, it's fun to experiment and play around with different cards, I think. Side deck, generic, you have to play 3 of this card just because it's so good against Drytron, and like you don't really stand a chance without it. 2 Lancia, maybe play 3 because it's really good against Tri-Brigade. It's also good against random shit, like evenly matched. Also good, you can chain it to the either Called by the Grave or Crossout Designator, so that comes up. And then I also played 2 Spooky Dogwood because the one thing I noticed in remote duels is that you always go into time. And especially with this deck, like you grind so much, you just go into time, right? So this card in like game 3, when you're close to time, is literally like a maxi because you chain this, they can't go anymore because you gain a bunch of life and you just win on time. And when you chain this to like an effect, special summon, you just gain life points anyways. So like if you're close to time, you just win on time. So it's actually just like hilarious. This card's effect, by the way, it's when your opponent would special summon a card, you chain it, and then you gain life points equal to the attack of the rest of the monster that you special summon this turn. But if you did not gain life points, you have your life points. So you can't use it like proactively, you gotta chain it to something, which is fine. And then spell cards, triple Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, super good generic card. It's gonna be good next set too against trap decks. This deck really struggles against the trap decks. It's more like anti-meta. Tried to beat the meta is built for. But this plays around Kingless Sky Prison because he just like makes it so your opponent can block off their traps from being destroyed. Also played 2 Forbidden Lance. Just wanted to try something out that was really trolly against trap decks, and yeah, it works out actually. The bad part about this card is actually apparently when they go Dogmatic Punishment and you chain Lance, they still send because it has to resolve as much as possible. So I didn't know that, but that's unfortunate. Somebody wrote that on DB the other day. So maybe it's better just play like Lightning Storm, but you know, I don't have any. Next set, obviously, I don't know if Lightning Storm will still be good because of Sky Prison. And then last cards are for the traps, Feather Duster, Pankratops, and Red Reboot, which are all super broken. And yeah, that's about it really for the deck. Last but not least is just extra deck. It's still the exact same, just generic. The 5, 7, 9 Zoos. 3 Zeus, and then 3 Vespanado. I think you can probably cut up Vespanado. Next set is going to change everything. Like, I don't know, maybe you could play the Destiny Hero engine. So maybe you just play like Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer, and like the package. Because that card just like is basically Dryden if you're going first, right? So maybe, you know, there's some flex spots. You can definitely cut one of these, maybe 2. You can maybe cut like a Zoo or something. So, you know, lots of flex spots. Yeah, that's about it. If you guys definitely try this deck out, it's super awesome, it's super fun. Super troll to play with. There are a lot of different options you can play. Maybe try out Inspector Board, or maybe try some different traps like Ice Dragon's Prison. Like I said, it's super good against like Tri-Brigade and like the mid-range grindy decks because you just simplify the game state and just make a Zeus. So yeah, that's about it. Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a dislike, and then yeah, I'm gonna keep invading this deck, so hopefully we'll bring some more cards to the table and show you guys what it is post-mode. See you guys later.